In Europe's defense arena, Spain just dropped a plot twist nobody quite saw coming. Madrid, long seen as a surefire candidate to join the F-35 club, suddenly walked away from the altar. The marriage with Lockheed Martin's Lightning II, hyped for years, fizzled out at the last minute. Instead, Spain has turned its gaze toward Turkey's Kaan fighter jet, a next-generation aircraft still in development. It's a bold move, part rebellion, part experiment, and entirely political. For Washington, it's a snub. For Ankara, it's a golden opportunity. And for the rest of Europe, it's a wake-up call. Let's be clear, this is not simply about planes. It's about identity, leverage, and the politics of autonomy. Buying the F-35 would have meant doubling down on Spain's reliance on the United States. Choosing Kaan signals something different, an attempt to carve out a path that balances NATO commitments with national sovereignty and industrial ambition. The immediate reason for Spain's pivot is financial. Madrid just approved a €10.5 billion defense budget, with 85% earmarked for European-made platforms. That makes the F-35, an American icon, politically toxic, no matter how capable it is. By contrast, Turkey, though not an EU member, is seen as a partner who can offer something fresh without blowing up Spain's fiscal arithmetic. But money is only part of the story. Spain's patience with Europe's future combat air system, FCAS, is running thin. FCAS was supposed to be the continent's crown jewel, a Franco-German-Spanish venture into sixth-generation air power. Instead, it has become a bureaucratic soap opera, over-budget, delayed, and riddled with political squabbles. Betting on Kaan, still unproven but progressing, feels less like gambling and more like hedging against FCAS's endless limbo. Of course, the risks are real. The F-35 is already battle-tested, deployed in multiple NATO countries, and shaping doctrines from the Baltics to the Pacific. Kaan, meanwhile, has yet to prove itself beyond prototypes and ambitious PowerPoint slides. For Spain to shift its airpower future onto a platform that hasn't seen combat is, by any measure, a leap of faith. But Spain seems willing to take that leap. Why? Because Kaan offers not just hardware but the promise of partnership. Turkish aerospace industries is open to collaboration, technology sharing, and joint production, things Washington has been reluctant to offer. For Madrid, that means not only acquiring jets but also building up its own aerospace sector, creating jobs, and boosting technological independence. In political terms, the move is disruptive. Within NATO, it signals that not all roads lead through Washington. Spain is showing that alternatives exist, that smaller members can chart their own course without blindly following US procurement lines. That's a message other mid-tier allies, tired of budget pressures and one-size-fits-all solutions, might find appealing. For Turkey, Spain's interest is validation. After years of strained relations with the West, remember the S-400 missile saga and subsequent sanctions, Ankara is hungry to prove that it can be more than just a troublesome ally. If Spain signs on, Kaan instantly transforms from a national vanity project into a European contender. That would give Turkey not just prestige but also leverage within NATO and beyond. The broader implication is that Europe itself may be entering a new phase. For decades, the continent's military aviation landscape has been dominated by American imports and a handful of European giants. Spain's flirtation with Kaan cracks that mold. It suggests a Europe that might, for the first time in a long time, look eastward within NATO rather than across the Atlantic. And yet, the move raises as many questions as it answers. Can Turkey deliver Kaan on time and on spec? Will the jet truly match the stealth, avionics, and interoperability standards that NATO demands? Will Spanish pilots feel confident flying a jet that hasn't proven itself in the crucible of modern warfare? These uncertainties hang heavy, and they will not be resolved overnight. But perhaps that's not the point. The decision says more about Spain's strategic philosophy than about Kaan's performance specs. It reflects a belief that being locked into the F-35 ecosystem, expensive, restrictive, and controlled largely from Washington, limits Spain's agency. By exploring Kaan, Madrid is asserting a kind of independence, signaling that it wants to be a co-creator of defense solutions, not just a consumer. There is also an element of timing. Spain's current fleet will need replacement soon, and the FCAS timeline remains murky. Waiting for FCAS could leave the Spanish Air Force flying aging jets long past their prime. Kaan, risky as it may be, offers a bridge, a way to modernize now while keeping one foot outside the F-35 camp. Critics call the move reckless, even naive. They argue that Spain is gambling with national security by picking an aircraft not yet ready for real-world combat. Supporters counter that it's exactly this kind of bold choice that can unlock innovation and prevent dependency. As with most big defense decisions, both sides are right, and both are wrong. What's undeniable is that this decision repositions Spain. It places Madrid at the heart of a debate over the future of European defense. Should Europe continue outsourcing its airpower to Washington, or should it diversify, even if that means taking risks with unproven partners like Turkey? For NATO, the optics are complicated. An alliance already strained by differing threat perceptions, budget disputes, and political friction now faces a new layer of divergence. Spain may still be committed to NATO's 2% GDP defense pledge, but the tools it chooses to meet that pledge tell a story of independence, not conformity. Ultimately, Spain's pivot is less about aircraft than about agency. It's about a country choosing not to be boxed in by conventional wisdom, daring to imagine a different future for its defense posture. Whether that future proves visionary or disastrous remains to be seen. What's certain is this: Spain has set itself apart. In doing so, it has not only reshaped its own trajectory but also thrown down a challenge to Europe and NATO. Can they keep up? Can they deliver alternatives that match the ambition of their rhetoric? Or will Spain's gamble pay off in ways that leave others wishing they had jumped first? History has a way of rewarding the bold, and punishing them, too. Spain's Kaan bet could be remembered as the moment Madrid stepped into a new era of strategic independence. Or it could be the cautionary tale of a nation seduced by promises that never materialized. Either way, the decision has already achieved something rare in defense policy. It has made the world sit up, pay attention, and wonder what comes next.